Ryan, in your lifetime, has anybody ever fooled you or made a fool of you? Has this ever happened in your many, many years on the planet?
It's very rare, but sometimes on Mondays, there's this guy who tricks me into coming on his channel.
Well, well, I bring the subject up because this morning I reported on something because it was on Mario Nawfal's site, which, yes, I don't always agree with his politics, but he's usually a careful reporter. And maybe he somehow, put it out that this was not real, or maybe he got fooled also. But this is an Optimus deal, and I was excited. Could you throw that up on the screen, please?
Sure thing. It is this guy. Is this the one you're looking for?
That's what I'm looking for. So start it from the beginning. And I talked about this as being, about a mimicking deal, the Optimus being able to completely mimic.
Guys, we got our Tesla bot here. I'm wearing our motion capture suit. So as you can see, all its actions are doing what I'm doing. And we're gonna really put it through its paces and test its precision by juggling some tennis balls. So you ready? Oh, he's always ready. Let's give it a go here.
It's very
You want to try
fun.
four?
Sure, give me a fourth
Well,
one.
watch it, watch it.
Oh, fuck. What's up, guys? We got our
That's fun.
So, I mean, it made total sense to me that it was seemed to be mimicking it exactly and precisely. And then the fact that they both missed at the same time, it seemed to me to be 100% good. But
It had some really great elements. The fact that on the screen you could see from his perspective and it looked correct. All the pieces were there, but there were some clues in the video. One is the fact if you mimic me exactly while I'm juggling, you're going to drop the balls because you and I would both have to track the balls independently.
right.
That's one clue. But another clue to me is they're in a studio that has a green screen, telling me that this is something these guys do. But the biggest one is that I've had a chance to talk to an Optimus engineer or two in person,
Mhm.
and I asked them a lot of questions, and they didn't want to answer them, but because they can't. But the question I did get answered is, which bot is it that we see at the diner? And the answer is 2.0, basically.
Okay. Mhm.
And what we know is we're going to be releasing 3.0. And all he could tell me is that we are in 2.x. We're in the two dots right now. We are not at 3 yet. And what he shared with me is you're probably not going to see anything until 3 because we do not like showing what it can do. Every time we show what it can do, that's the new benchmark for everyone else. So the idea that they would show anything at all is very unlikely. And if we do see something, a demo like this one, which was very well done, very
Very well.
clever. Like that was great work. Hats off to the effects engineers who made that happen.
No.
It would come from Tesla.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I thought everything about it, even as I look back on it, even the acting by the individual who was playing the tech engineer, and maybe it really is an engineer, but whether he was or wasn't, the acting, he acted brilliantly. I
Yeah,
mean,
he sold it.
he sold it.
The fact that it punched and broke the screen, love it. What a detail. What a detail. Love it.
All right, so that's the first element of my potpourri today. The second element of potpourri I wanted to talk to you about was the possibility of a worldwide franchise of cafes.
Yeah.
We've got this successful cafe in Hollywood. They got lines. I know, like 24/7, they've got lines. Now, that's not unusual for LA. We have there's a hamburger stand that used to be there. I want to forget the name of it right now, but darn, I can't think of it. But anyway, it was there for years and years. And a hot dog stand, and these were literally you'd go at 2 a.m. because that was the fun, and stand in line for 45 minutes to an hour
Wow.
in the middle of a really bad part of town to get a hot dog or to get a hamburger. So this is a kind of a phenomenon that we've seen before. But I mean, this place is pretty special. And some people have been bugging you, I know. You just mentioned to me that some people would like to see this in every town.
So LA has some good food. A lot of towns do, but LA has the people to support really good food. There's a taco truck in Venice Beach that consistently has 2 hour lines, hour lines. If you get there early in the day, it's not as bad, but yeah, it's nonstop. And right across from it is another taco stand that looks identical that doesn't have a line because they don't have the same recipe. They don't have the same vibe. And when we got there, we thought, no, we drove all this way. We saw this online, and this is where we're going to be. So we waited, and yeah, it was wonderful. The fact that Tesla put this diner up, they didn't do it to make money. They did it to be a halo. And it is raising attention. I don't know what you would pay for an ad campaign to generate the same kind of buzz, but I'm just going to tell you right now, you could easily pay 10, 20, $30 million for an ad campaign
Right.
that after 6 months has limited or no residual value. Now, there are exceptions to that, but they're very rare. The break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. That was 30 years ago, and we're still talking about it, and everyone's got the song in their head. Those are extremely rare. You don't find those very often. But this, to my absolute shock, is not losing money. And we don't know that definitively, but if you have a never-ending line selling $14 hamburgers, and they're good hamburgers, they're organic, they're locally sourced, they're grass-fed, whatever it is, they're good quality burgers, and the price isn't crazy. It's higher than people from outside of LA might expect to pay, but people in LA are like, yeah, that's what food costs.
Right.
And there's no tipping. The tip is included in the price. Everyone gets
Right.
a share. So that also could make the price look artificially high. But when the order of the day is just keep making them as fast as you can, and they will go out the door at a tremendous margin, you're going to actually make money. They could actually break even and make money on this venture within a year or two.
Which is unusual for a restaurant business.
Very unusual.
Right.
Very unusual. Well, and it depends on your costs. Look at the building. That was expensive.
Right.
That was a whole lot of money. If you're looking to open a restaurant, I advise you never spend more than a tenth as much as they did on your building. But they've got but again, the cost wasn't the issue. It's still cheaper than an ad campaign. So when you're done, you've got a restaurant that runs. And now the thought is, Elon has even said, we'll open some more in some places. And of course, now everyone's very excited. They're going to build one in my town, because if one is successful, all of them will be equally successful, ignoring the fact that people like me would drive 1,000 miles to check out this one. So unless you're going to have Franz randomly popping up at all of them, which I don't think is the best use of his time, maybe it wouldn't be as successful as people think.
Yeah, so you have, of course, if you put it in a smaller environment, you would have a smaller town or that had less of that kind of demand that you're talking about. It would also cost less for the lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it raises the question, okay, let's say Elon says, well, we might put something like this or put some of these, copy this in 10 other major touristy spots around the world. That would make a lot of sense, because you also need to gas your car, or I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? You need to charge your car. So it is a nice.
Well, they do have Wagyu beef chili, so maybe that's what you meant.
That's what I was had in mind, exactly. So you do need to charge your car, and so it is a great thing to have as a combination. And they're selling gifts, which is another cool thing that would add to the potential for revenues. So even if it wasn't a money maker, but it was kind of a break-even thing, to your point, in some of these touristy spots, it would be potentially something that would be like a running ad, a completely, a good vibe ad that would talk to people about the entire Tesla program.
I agree with all of that. If you're going to, there are ways to make it easier. The big one is, and you hinted at this at the top of the show, franchising.
Yeah.
Push it off onto people who do this for a living, who understand restaurant margins are are not 100%, 300%. The exclusivity is part of it. Those franchisees would say, look, we need to know how many you plan to build. Because if you're going to build 10,000 of them, we're out. If you're going to build 1,000 of them, we're out. It's like Disney. If there was a Disneyland in every state, that would potentially impact the other Disneylands. And the one in Nome, Alaska might not be as year-round as you would hope, but a lot of the places that I would want to put a flagship restaurant wouldn't be right. You can't do this in Times Square. There's no parking.
Yeah.
So unless it's hidden in the garage, which would be very weird.
So
I don't know.
do you think it makes sense? I mean, we know that Tesla's put charge locations at Targets. They've put them at some of these other food and gift chains that are out on the highways and byways across the country. Does it make sense for Tesla to, take some of the locations like they have up at Buttonwillow or some of these major spots,
Kettleman City,
and add some kind of entertainment, some kind of a retail environment or a food environment in some of those bigger ones?
Well, I do not like going to small superchargers in the middle of the night because there is nothing. Maybe there's a bathroom, but nothing else. That doesn't do it for me. I want to be able to get a snack or a beverage. And if there's some kind of ambiance, the kind of thing that you get, as you know, I went to the Tesla diner.
Right.
I did bump into Franz. He remembered me. That's wonderful and weird. And I got to talk to a number of people who recognize me. I get to be micro famous. I think they would be, having something would be better than nothing. And what you said earlier, strategic. I think one on the West Coast, maybe one on the East Coast, maybe put it along the New York to Florida route. I don't know. Somewhere along that path, there's certainly going to be some affordable land where you could do it, where you wouldn't need these kinds of numbers, and you could draw people from the entire East Coast. They could caravan. It's such good press. Beyond that, where? Well, one or two in China would make sense. One or two in Europe, where they would call it an American diner, would be fun. But I think Europe would be especially helpful because Europe could use a boost in terms of Tesla branding, exposure, reputation, all
Now,
that.
maybe the idea would be to make a smaller, less wild, less expensive version
Yes.
that got exactly the same look, vibe, that would have some Optimi, what do they have? Little glass. Well, having Optimi itself in the store would be good enough. When the Optimi get really, really good at what they do, having that would be huge. And so if you kind of got that vibe, you might be able to put it into smaller locations and get a pretty decent return.
I think just eliminating the second floor would cut the cost by honestly more than half.
Mhm.
Certainly half, but maybe more than half, because that second floor is very robust and structural and all that.
Right.
And I think you would agree that by the time the next restaurant could be opened, unless it's going into an existing structure, Optimus won't be serving popcorn.
Right. It'll be
Optimus will be doing something else. And
the burgers.
what a great test bed for I want to test this out in a real kitchen. Yeah, well, you can't do it in mine because we got to make money. Well, we don't. We got to make progress. So if your objective is progress, then everything else is kind of secondary. So I think, there are ways you could cut the cost. If you were to go into a franchise situation, your franchisees would be, well, if you look at McDonald's, I don't know what the number is now, but for a long time it was plan on $1 million to build it, and I need you to see that you have $1 million left in the bank. This would probably be more like 5 million to build it, and let's just say 5 million in the bank. It doesn't matter. If you've got the 5 million to build it, you probably already own 20 or 30 restaurants, but there would be a cash reserve requirement so that you don't immediately fall on your face. So I think the people who do this, because I'm sure you've met them, people who own 10, 20, 30 restaurants,
Yeah.
maybe a dozen McDonald's and a couple others as well,
Mhm.
or, Subways, whatever it might be. This could be something better for them, where the customer is not solely focused on price,
Right.
where you can actually make decent food and decent money.
Yeah, and of course you have a built-in customer base of those people that are coming to charge. So you have the traffic becomes something of a guarantee. I know a little bit about In-N-Outs because my son worked there for 5 years, and also I've done a lot of study of it. It's nothing at all for an In-N-Out to make $5 million a year, to gross $5 million a year. And I think the average one makes something over $1 million a year. So that's with the highest price you can spend practically on a double meal, like a number one or something, is about under $10.
Right.
So this
The
is
prices are very reasonable, and I don't think I've ever been to an In-N-Out that didn't have a line of at least 10, 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't either. And I've been to a lot of In-N-Outs.
We have one coming soon to the
Sure.
parking lot by the Costco near us,
Wow.
about 20 minutes away. And I think I'm going to go get in line right now.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Be quicker.
All right. So the third thing on my potpourri for today, and this video will be showing, I don't know when it's going to be showing, I guess probably Monday night. My third thing on my potpourri is just a quickie. Let's just talk about the Elon Musk package for a minute. Obviously, pretty much every shareholder, wanted Elon to get compensated one way or the other. Obviously, we want him to be happy. We want him to be focused on the job. What did you think about the down payment that was put into action actually today by the board of directors? They claim they didn't need we shareholders to vote on it. So, what did you think?
I don't know about the legality of it, but I'm confident they do. And if not, it'll be reversed and then reinstated, just like the whole pay package itself. On the original pay package, you look at someone like Ross Aaron Sorkin, who was saying, is that his name? Ross Sorkin, who was saying, this is the best deal ever, because the pay rate is zero.
Yeah.
If he doesn't deliver, it's zero.
Yeah.
And if he delivers an impossible feat, he gets paid an impossible amount of money.
Right.
The cost to Tesla was only $2 billion for Elon to get all this money, because Tesla kept allocating those shares at the time, not buying. It's their money. They just print it. It just shows up. It shows up in the accounting as an expense, but it wasn't actually an expense. It was a non-cash expense.
Right.
So it was a great deal. It passed by 73% of the vote. Well, we got to revote it. Do we? Okay, let's revote it. Let's do it. Alexandra Mertz, Tesla Boomer Mama, said, let's do it. Let's bring this up for another vote. Elon said, all right, yeah, let's see what people think. Now, mind you, these people, most of the people voting, didn't have shares when the original one passed.
Right.
These are all new. These are people who got the benefit of it, who got without having to make that commitment, or bought in after the benefit was realized. So surely it's going to get a lower vote. This time, unlike last time, had campaigns actively against it, saying, do not vote for this. And it didn't get as many votes. It wasn't 73%. It was 72%.
Right.
That's within a margin of error. That's rounding error. So it passed again, which I'm not surprised it passed again. I'm surprised it passed by that much.
Right.
Because I could see a lot of people saying, wait a minute, I've already got the benefit. Why pay for it?
Right.
But these are principled people. These are people who believe a deal's a deal.
Yeah.
So on this one, this deal, the way it's structured, to me, I'm looking at it going, perfect. I don't know better. Maybe I'm wrong, but it says, let's get him paid for what he did, but we're going to keep pursuing the original deal. And if the original deal comes in, the new one's gone, or vice versa. It's not like he's going to get double pay, but we're going to try and make the original one happen, because even though it would be the same either way, the the accounting consequence is very different. If they issue the new shares, it's going to have a quarterly impact of something like $3 billion for 2 years. That makes it look like the impact is much worse. again, not real cash.
Right.
I think most, certainly institutional investors, would look at it and say, it's just paper.
Right.
But yeah, they would. So I think it's great all around.
Okay, and so this is about a third of what he would have gotten with the other package. And of course, we're still waiting for the Delaware Appeals Court to make their decision. And I wouldn't be shocked at all if they decide no, that it gets appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court, because I think there are some constitutional issues in the situation, and maybe not, but I think they will at least try. So then they also mentioned that we will have a vote coming up on November 6th, where they will have a new compensation package that will theoretically also kind of make up for part of the loss, but which will also, I think, be a go forward package that will have some kind of an incentive for what happens in the future. So that seems like a good 1-2 punch.
And it's I don't know what the process is in Delaware, how far you can continue appealing it. But I've said this to you before. When Judge McCormick starts her opinion with no person should be paid this amount of money, that is not a legal position, Kathleen. That is your opinion. And I get it. You feel like you work harder than other people and you only make a few $100,000 a year. Good for you. Oh, you poor baby. But come on. No one is going to argue that Elon works a billion times harder than other people, but he doesn't have to. You and I can invest the same $100 in different companies and get wildly different outcomes. That's how the world works. I know people who have spent their whole lives working 50, 60, 70 hours a week doing jobs that were not fulfilling and making an amount of money that I would consider inappropriately low for the amount of labor and harm that they cause themselves and their families. I don't envy that. But again, no one forced you to do that. This is not, some country where there's one industry and you have to do it. There are options in this world. And instead of wishing everyone else was worse, just wish you were better.
No kidding. Yeah. And of course, a lot of people look at the situation with Elon and go, oh, nobody's worth this much money. If he was, you could make I think the argument would be stronger if he was taking it out like some other of the oligarchy in our country, taking out the money and buying ridiculous sized yachts that won't even fit under the bridge.
Oh, yeah. But Elon's yacht is so expensive and fancy, it's invisible.
Yeah, right. That's true. All right. So I think we're in agreement that this seems like a good first piece of an effort to pay Elon. There's a second effort coming up on November 6th. We'll get a chance to see that shortly because we need to have time to actually read it. We get, as stockholders, we have a chance to read the bill before we vote.
I don't know what you're referring to, Randy.
The
fact that you don't have to say means that everyone knows what you're talking about.
All right. Well, as always, thank you for coming on and helping me with potpourri today. And we will look forward to doing a second show. You and I will be doing that probably in 5 minutes, but everybody else will have to wait probably a good 24 hours. So thank you again. And to all of you out there, it's been great talking to you.